Welcome to OMT Wired Up, Online Money Talks, a podcasting session that discusses internet marketing strategies on how to make money and turn ideas into cash online. And now, here's the host of OMT Wired Up, Ivan Ho.
Welcome to OMT Wired Up, where we talk about tips and strategies on how to make money and succeed online. I'm your host, Ivan Ho, and today we're going to talk about why you shouldn't worry too much about Google, but instead worry more about content. So here's my general thought. I know that people are always trying to strive to be on the first page of Google, and sometimes people concentrate too much on just ranking for one keyword phrase that when they finally do get to that first or second page of Google, it doesn't produce the results they had imagined. Then they try to go back and analyze the reasons why. Was it because it wasn't a buying keyword? Have the searches for this keyword phrase gone down? Did I get bumped to another page? And so on and so on. Instead, why not just concentrate on creating good quality content, whether it's articles, blog posts, videos, or podcasts? If you concentrate on that, you will probably find your content somewhere on Google. Not sure where, but somewhere. However, if you create a large volume of good quality content, you will find your stuff everywhere on Google. And that's when you start to get a lot of traffic and people visiting your site. So here's why I think people shouldn't worry too much about Google. Because believe me, when I first started out, I was one of those who pounded the search engines, trying to do everything I can to be on the first page. And as many of you know, it's not easy to get on the first page, especially for competitive keywords. And as I mentioned before, even if you do get to the first page, you might not even get the results that you had hoped. Or another example, you get to the first page, but then get bumped off the page after just a week. Then you spend all your time trying to get that back. I've been there and done that. There are so many different dynamics to Google's algorithm. It's almost impossible to perfect. Keywords, backlinks, bounce rate, content, social activities, time on site. I mean, it's so hard to map everything out and keep track. So many of us then try to find shortcuts and try to outsmart Google, but then end up getting our sites slapped and penalized, especially when Google introduced Penguin and Panda. A lot of my sites got killed. I ended up wasting a lot of money and having to start all over again. Except for the sites that had really good quality content, those sites actually began to get better results, and as of today, are still doing pretty well. Look, Google just wants you to do things right. And in many cases, when people are not thinking about Google and they just concentrate on their content and their audience, they usually end up doing things right. So take my advice. Forget about Google and focus on pleasing your followers and your readers. I agree. It's important to be on Google and other search engines for organic traffic. But I would stop focusing on the mechanics and tactics on ranking on the first page. Instead, concentrate on good quality content that engages your audience, and Google will find you. Plus, more importantly, good content will get noticed and it will get read. With 2 billion people online, your content will somehow find its way to someone's computer screen, iPad, or smartphone. Of course, one article won't do too much for you. Neither will 10 or 20 these days. You need lots. How much? Well, there is no fixed number on the amount of content you should produce in order to generate X amount of traffic. Just do as much as you can on a consistent basis, and people will start to trickle in. Remember what I said. One article gets you ranked somewhere on Google. 1,000 articles can get you ranked almost everywhere on Google. The more traffic you write, the more traffic you will get, provided that the content is informative and it engages your readers. Crappy articles will do nothing for your online business, and in fact could tarnish your credibility. Also, Don't just stick with articles. In fact, I would encourage you to expand into videos and podcasts as well. Videos and audios are on the rise. The popularity of YouTube and iTunes are on the up and up. I think there's a report that estimates that over 35 million people will be downloading podcasts in 2013. I mean, that's huge, which is probably why I'm glad I got into podcasting myself. Think about it. People like to listen to something while working, exercising, driving, traveling, doing chores. I mean, there's not that many people these days that don't have an iPod or a cell phone with an MP3 player. So if you can, make sure podcasting is part of your online marketing campaign. YouTube, as many of you know, has become the second largest search engine next to Google. I mean, people go onto YouTube to look for information on how to learn things, make things, and fix things. YouTube's platform is so big that if you can produce a bunch of good videos, you can get a ton of traffic. And if you get lucky and your videos take off and become viral, you can make some really good cash with YouTube. So, I really encourage you to venture out and test out videos and podcasts. It's also important to remember that while some of your audience may benefit from reading, others do better with audio and visual content. No matter what, the more content you have out there on the internet and on different platforms, search engines, YouTube, iTunes, Facebook, the more traffic you're going to get to your website. Now, there are two key components to the success when it comes to content distribution. No matter if you're writing articles, doing blog posts, filming videos, or recording podcasts, your content must have, number one, good quality, interesting information, and two, you must produce a lot of it. Quality and quantity, you need both for success. Many people, I think, that come up short do so because they lack one or two or both of these components. So if you're planning on using content to generate traffic, make sure it's good and make sure you produce a lot of it. Another thing I would like to add is give your content a chance to get noticed. Arm it with a good eye-catching title. Again, for those that are focused on stuffing keywords into the title for Google purposes, I say don't. Give your content great attention-grabbing titles, and they will generate more traffic than ranking on the search engines in the long run. You might get 1 or 2 articles ranked high on Google, but if you have 10 or 20 articles that captures people's attention, those will get you more traffic. Trust me on that. Now, if you can get both, great. But if you had to choose, don't go with keyword titles. Go with the ones that catches people's attention. Content that has good information and a really cool title will make its way around the internet fast. People tend to like sharing good content with friends and family. Don't underestimate this power of sharing. Word of mouth can make things go viral very, very fast. And as we all know, if your content goes viral, then you've practically hit the jackpot. Provided you know how to properly monetize your content and your online business. If you're not squeezing money out of everything you produce, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. I'll actually do a show about that later next month, so if you want to get tips on monetization, make sure you follow me and tune into that show when it airs. The last thing I want to touch on is outsourcing your content writing. Almost all successful online marketers will end up doing this because it frees up more time to implement other online marketing strategies. If you're thinking about it, my advice is find the best. Don't try and save on money and go cheap. Find the best writers that can produce your content at the highest quality. You don't have to hire the most expensive person. Just make sure they are good and qualified and experienced at what they do. Make sure you give them a descriptive detail of what you want, because it goes a long way to getting that higher quality of content. So let's quickly review. If you're looking to use content to bring in traffic as opposed to using paid ads or social platforms, My advice would be to concentrate on creating a lot of good quality content. Don't worry too much about Google. Expand your content with videos and podcasts and put them on different platforms like YouTube and iTunes. Do that and you will find your content being ranked everywhere on search engines. Quality and quantity will bring you traffic, and if monetized right, lots of money as well. Now, if you want to learn more about content creation and how to get your content noticed online, I recommend you go over to Jeff Herring's website at www.jeffherring.com. He is an expert on creating content and online article distribution. He has helped me out with many aspects of content creation, like writing good titles, content monetization, content SEO, and how to write an effective author bio and resource box. So if you go over to his site, you'll find a ton of information to help you get started. Okay, let's go over and check out my inbox for this week's question. This week we have an email from Jason Huey, and he asked, what is the best hosting company to use? Very good question, Jason. And for those that have been following me for a while, you know that I think Bluehost is by far the best above the rest. If you're going to think long term and prepare yourself for a lot of traffic coming into your site, then you need to consider 3 important factors: storage, bandwidth, and 24-hour customer support. Make sure your hosting company offers you unlimited storage. That way you can support a huge amount of content on your site. Because if you plan on creating a lot of articles, videos, and podcasts, you're going to need a lot of storage. So go with a hosting company that offers you unlimited storage. The second thing is bandwidth. You have to make sure your hosting company gives you unlimited bandwidth, because as your site grows, so will your traffic, and you don't want your site crashing when thousands of people are trying to get onto your site. The third thing is customer support. As your website grows, so will your problems. Unpredictable things happen all the time. Crashing, hacking. Make sure if your site goes down, it can be restored in the quickest and shortest time. So having access to a hosting company that gives you 24-hour customer support is very crucial. Which is why I say go with Bluehost. It covers all 3 major components, and it gives you unlimited domains and unlimited emails. Plus, it's cheap, something like $6.95 per month. So if you're looking for hosting, I would encourage you to sign up with Bluehost. Check them out, www.bluehost-omt.com. If you would like to read a more in-depth analysis on why I think Bluehost is the best, I'll put up a link to a blog post I wrote on the show notes after we wrap up here. Thank you, Jason, for your email. If any of you have any questions about internet marketing that you want me to answer, please email them to questions@omtwiredup.com, and I will do my best to answer them. Please check out my show notes for links to some of the programs and websites I've mentioned on today's show. Some of the links with OMT at the end is my affiliate to those programs, and yes, I do get a small kickback. So if you think that you've received some good information from my show, please help support OMT Wired Up. Thank you for listening to this session of OMT Wired Up. I will be back next week to talk more about internet strategies and how you can make a ton of money online. See you next time.
To learn more about Ivan's online money marketing strategies or to leave a question for him, please visit omtwiredup.com. That's www.omtwiredup.com. Thanks for listening.